Good evening and welcome. After a summer preparation, new faces, tactical work, and plenty of anticipation, the wait is finally over. Tonight, Real Mallorca begin the new 2020. Good evening and welcome to the RCD Mallorca Matchday, and welcome to a brand new season of LaLiga Hypermotion 2026-27. After a summer of preparation, new faces, tactical work, and plenty of anticipation, the wait is finally over. Tonight, Real Mallorca begin their new 2026-27 campaign. If you are new to the YouTube Play Red channel, welcome first of all to the beginning of the season. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and to turn on push notifications to never miss out on any matches or any information week in, week out. Tonight, Real Mallorca go through their first test of the season where they face up against Valladolid in the LaLiga Hypermotion. It's the first match of the season. I think we're going to see plenty of talent out there today. Realistically, there couldn't be a more important word tonight than 3 points. I think that's all that matters. This is no longer preseason. This is competitive football. So Mallorca welcome Real Valladolid to the Son Mas Stadium for the opening match of the new Hypermotion season. It's a difference for Mallorca compared to last season, who were competing in the first division in the La Liga season. You know, it's going to be different. I think we're going to see new ways, new tactics, and obviously plenty of new faces as there's been transfers in and out for Mallorca this season. It's been a very busy transfer window. Now, if we're going to see a very different season from compared to last year, I think we are. I think it's going to be very different. Obviously, we still have some familiar faces, but again, there's been plenty of changes in this Real Mallorca squad. If we're talking new signings and loan players, we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 new loans and transfers for Mallorca. It's been a very busy season, as I mentioned, in the transfer market. Mallorca is actually a team who's made the most money in the La Liga Hypermotion this season, averaging a total of around 60 million in earnings this season. Huge numbers for a team like Mallorca. So I think it's going to be very interesting what we have to see out there today. I think there's a completely different feeling around the stadium tonight. We've seen Mallorca during preseason. We've seen the new players settling in. We've heard about the ambitions of this squad. But tonight is where it all starts to mean something. 42 league matches lie ahead. And the destination Mallorca want is very clear: to get back into first division football. And although Mallorca's preseason was very successful, you could say, we saw plenty of entertaining performances. Last week out, they faced the German side here at Son Mas Stadium, and the week before that they faced the French side, PSG, the Europa champions, the back-to-back Champions League winners, where they did beat them 3-0 in their home stadium. But again, preseason, you know, it is a way to see how the new squad is adjusting, but overall, what matters is here tonight. And Mallorca aren't hiding from that ambition. You can say that's the least, because I think the squad, the ambition is clear. They want that first division. They want that first place. They want to go up, and there is no other answer for it. So, as I was mentioning, still some familiar faces in that squad tonight. Sergi Darder being one of them, who he was a big name last season, and he's going to be a big name this season. He's been very open about his hopes for this season, saying that he'd love to see Mallorca finish first in this division. And although it may be an ambitious target, but that's exactly the mentality this club wants to take into this campaign. And the first step is here tonight, up against Real Valladolid. It's a hot, hot summer night out here today. We're still in the peak of summer, you could argue, here in Palma de Mallorca. So it's not going to be an easy one for either of these sides. And of course, with the first match, the nerves are out. Both teams are trying to settle into their new squad and new faces. I think we're going to see plenty of action out here today, and I'm very excited for it. I think one thing we have to talk about is the new man in charge for Mallorca, and that is Luis Garcia. He's also been very clear about the identity he wants from this team. He wants Mallorca to be brave and a protagonist team. There's no doubt about it. There's been a lot of pressure put on these players that are already here playing for Mallorca and for the new ones. There's only one target this season. It's to get first place and get right back up, as last season shouldn't have been a season for Mallorca to go down to the second division for relegation. As you know, if you were around, it was very, very disappointing for the players, for the fans, and for everyone really that supports Real Mallorca. Now we're just a few minutes away from kickoff. And we know that Mallorca is a side that wants the ball. They want to control the matches. But also understands that football isn't always played on its own terms. Tonight is our first competitive look at the philosophy in this second division. And the visitors tonight are Real Valladolid. They arrive with their own ambitions and their own new chapter to begin. I think last season, their manager, Fran Escriba, has already described Mallorca as one of the strongest teams in the division. I think Valladolid know what they're going up against out there today. So Valladolid know exactly what awaits for them here at the Son Mas Stadium. So now we have the players walking out of the tunnel and onto the pitch. Real Mallorca in their new kit with the red and black, and Valladolid, as always, with their classic purple. So now Real Mallorca walk out of the Son Mas Stadium and onto the pitch. There's an interesting historical statistic involving these two clubs. Valladolid have made 33 visits to Mallorca across the first and second tiers. So no matter whether it's in first division or second, these two teams always manage to find each other. And as I mentioned, familiar faces for Mallorca, but also plenty of new ones. And we're going to go over the lineup in a minute. The new lineup for Mallorca this season. But until then, we're going to see both of the players line up for the team and get ready. Now for Mallorca, at the bets, at goalkeeper position, behind the two posts for Real Mallorca's Arneu Tenas, the new goalkeeper who's on loan from Villarreal and former Champions League winner for PSG. The two centre-backs are going to be Antonio Rayo and Martin Valgent. Exactly like last season, nothing new there. On the right back, we have a player making his first team debut. It's Miguel Calatayud. And it's his first starting debut for the club. We saw a bit of him last season where he managed to get a few minutes in. The youngster from the academy who's proven to show plenty of talent. And, well, he's come to show because he's made it in the starting position out there today. On the left back, we have Tony Lato. The midfield for Mallorca is going to be Sergi Derder, Manu Morlanes. On the left, we have another new face. It's Antonio Roca, another player on loan. And on the right mid, we have a familiar face who's decided to sign another year on loan for Mallorca. It's Zito Lovumbo. Up front for Mallorca, we then have Pablo Torre back again, and a new face for Mallorca, the ultimate and final one, Adrian Fuentes. So an exciting new lineup for Mallorca. Plenty of new faces, but also a few familiar ones. And the Real Valladolid players wearing a t-shirt that says Siempre con nosotros, Dr. Lomo. A lovely tribute for the Dr. Lomo from Real Valladolid. So an exciting first match in the LaLiga Hypermotion now. 60 million euros from player sales, allowing the squad to undergo a major rebuild. And what Luis Garcia is building here is very, very interesting. And I think for me, the player to watch out there tonight is Zito Lovumbo. I think he's been very impressive in the preseason. Last season, he was starting to show a lot of potential. And then, of course, for me, it's also Sergi Darder, a leader in the Mallorcan team. And I'm very, very excited to see what these players have to offer. So, here we go. The new season begins. Real Mallorca, Real Valladolid, Son Mosh, match day 1. 42 matches ahead, but tonight there's only one thing that matters: 3 points. And let's get this season underway. Here's Valladolid, and they keep the ball in the first 20 seconds. Remember, this is only the beginning. There are 41 more league matches after tonight. So Valladolid starting off strong and very intense. As you can see, there's Manu Morlanes, another familiar face in the lineup. Antonio Raello. Back to Martin Valgens. Here's Raello again. Antonio Raello playing it back to Arnau Tenas. Arnau Tenas out wide, and Mallorca keep the spell of the possession in the first minute. And Mallorca get the new season started here at the Son Mosh Stadium, which I do think is an advantage for them. It's going to be an important opening few minutes for both of these sides. You don't want to give away an early goal, but you also want to establish your identity. And so far, Mallorca already looking to get comfortable in possession. Tony Lato back to Rayon. Mallorca take the ball all the way back. Arnau Tenas with the long ball. Lovely play here from Mallorca. And in the end, it's very well defended from Valladolid. Given away again to Mallorca. Here's Pablo Torre. Into Manu Morlanes. Back to Pablo Torre. Good ball from Pablo Torre there. And Mallorca try putting in the cross into that second post, but it just doesn't work out for them. Antonio Roca, you can see he was maybe looking for Zito Lovumbo to sneak into that second post. And so far, good pressure from Mallorca. And Valladolid are sitting fairly compactly at the moment, making it difficult for Mallorca to find space through the middle. Here's Tony Lato back to Arnau Tenas. Now Mallorca in the spell of possession again. Rayo into Manu Morlanes. Mallorca holding the ball in their own half of the pitch here. Good play from the Mallorcan side. Risky pass there from Donny Lato, but in the end it works out for them. Remember, Luis Garcia has talked about wanting his team to be brave and to be the protagonists this season. And I think in these first few opening minutes, we're already starting to see how confident Mallorca look. Very well recovered there by Sergi Darder. Now Martin Valgens into Darder. Valgens. Here's Mikel Catalayud into Manu Morlanes. Driving forward, here come Mallorca. Here's Antonio Roca. Good play here from Antonio Roca. He can drive forward himself. He plays into Pablo Torre. Pablo Torre, who just can't keep hold of the ball there. But a lovely old play from Mallorca. Now here's Manu Morlanes, and Mallorca can go again already. Donny Lato on the left-hand side. He plays it short into Pablo Torre. Manu Morlanes. And so far, Mallorca looking very comfortable on the ball. To say the least, very confident. So it's poorly given away by Donny Lato. Now Valladolid finally have a bit of possession. And whilst Mallorca are playing well, Valladolid are making life uncomfortable for Mallorca. The home side still need to be careful with possession in these early stages. So now, the first 5 minutes have gone by. And it's beginning to tell us a little bit about the tactical battle between these two sides. By the looks of it, Mallorca trying to build, and Valladolid want to disrupt. Oh, lovely though build-up play from Valladolid. Well intercepted by Pablo Torre. Good defensive work from him. Here's Zito Luvumbo. Can he cause some damage down this right-hand side? He tries putting in the low cross. Adrian Fuentes was trying to make something from that, but in the end he couldn't. And very well defended there from Mikel Catalayud. And neither side want to give the opponent an early advantage by the looks of it. I think Mallorca pushing up forward a lot more than Valladolid. And I think the opponents here are wary of the attack from Mallorca, just holding back a bit more, not looking as confident on the ball. But in these early stages, you never know what can really happen. Zito Luvumbo trying to keep hold of it, but in the end, Valladolid take that ball back, and now they're in possession. And I think last season it didn't work out so well for Valladolid. It wasn't the season they really wanted. Mallorca may have had a bit of the same case. Getting relegated was definitely not what they wanted, especially after some of the performance certain players were putting in for the club. Now here come Valladolid with the first proper chance, trying to put in that cross, but it's cleared by Mallorca. Adrian Fuentes loses possession, and now Valladolid have the spell of possession again. Here's Alejo. And Alejo losing possession there for Valladolid, and now Mallorca can break on the counter-attack. Here comes Zito Luvumbo. He plays it free into Adrian Fuentes. And good vision there from Zito Luvumbo. It was a very good run from Adrian Fuentes. But in the end, there was just a bit too much power on that pass. And they're doing very well so far, Mallorca. It's good pressure from the home side. I think as the match goes on, Valladolid are being forced to go deeper and deeper into their defense. So far, so good from Mallorca. Looking very confident in these first few minutes. Now, here come Valladolid. Switching over to that left-hand side. Here's Gambanzon. What can he do from here? Trying to put in the low cross. And it's gone out for a corner kick. And the first corner of the matchup has been awarded. And it is for the away side. Something to be wary about, I think, especially in the LaLiga Hypermotion, is corner kicks. I think it's something Mallorca are very familiar with. Offensively and defensively, they've always been a strong side when it comes to the aerial play. So now the cross goes in for Valladolid, and no problems there whatsoever for Mallorca. Here's Manu Morlanes helping Mallorca play from out the back. And one interesting historical statistic between these two clubs is Valladolid have actually visited Mallorca 33 times across the first and second tiers, but they've only won 7 of those matches. So when it comes to the history between these two sides, it's safe to say that Mallorca have the better reputation. Son Moix has traditionally been a difficult place for Valladolid to come and win. Now, Antonio Roca gets taken down, and Real Valladolid have a chance to break on the counter-attack. And they don't rush it forward, they just decide to take it back instead. I think Valladolid are starting to find their rhythm a little bit more now. Antonio Roca with plenty of room to drive forward, and he does well. He keeps on going himself. And a free kick awarded for Mallorca as Antonio Roca gets taken down. Potentially a dangerous set-piece play for Mallorca. It's a brilliant run there from Antonio Roca. He does very well. Just puts his body in front of the ball there. As he sees Ojeda, he's going in to get the ball. Antonio Roca gets in front of the ball first. He knows he's going to get taken down. It's a very smart play from him. And now potentially a dangerous set-piece play for Mallorca. So now the set-piece play to be taken. Pablo Torre stepping up to the free kick. And with quite some distance, I don't think he'll be hitting it from there. And the set-piece play doesn't work out for Mallorca. Pablo Torre was just looking to put in the cross there into second post. Just looks like no one understood him. And so far, as the match has progressed, I think Valladolid have started to enjoy a good spell. They're starting to get the possession back, but when they do, they make these mistakes. And a dangerous play there from Araneu Denas. Almost giving away a goal. He got a bit too comfortable there with his feet as Latasa was putting on the pressure. It's very good pressure there from Valladolid. So the game remains finely balanced as both of these sides keep on putting on attacking displays. And the cross goes in and potentially a chance for Valladolid. And the shot was blocked by Donny Lato. Valladolid can go again. And the cross goes far over that second post and out for a goal kick. Just a bit too much height on that cross for Valladolid. And as Mallorca started off looking like the better side, Valladolid are definitely showing that they're still in this one. So now Arneu Tenas into Martin Valgent. Here's Zito Luvumbo driving forward. What can he do from here? Lovely play there from Zito Luvumbo, taking it on himself. He tries putting in the cross. And the ball goes out of play and out for a corner kick. He does very well there, Zito Luvumbo. And that's why you can see that he's a brilliant player for Mallorca. And he really does have the pace. He's causing real problems so far for Valladolid in these first 15 minutes. So now Pablo Torre to take the first corner kick for Mallorca. The cross goes into that second post where Arnau gets his head on it, but it just doesn't work out. Good effort there from Mallorca, looking for Pablo Torre, but a bit too much power on that pass from Miguel Catalayud. And now it's out for a goal kick. The intensity is good so far, but neither of the teams have taken control yet. And whilst I do think Mallorca are looking like the better side, Valladolid are definitely starting to show that they are an impressive attacking display as well. Here they come again down this left-hand side, attempting the long shots. And while it was blocked by Miguel Catalayud, it was still a dangerous chance for Valladolid and a goal kick now for Mallorca. So far, it's been positive for Mallorca, but not only for them, for Valladolid also. I think it's been positive for both sides. And this is much close to the football Luis Garcia wants. Mallorca dictating the tempo rather than simply reacting. It's been positive so far. They just need a bit more to that game. And sure enough, I'm sure they'll take the lead. Now Adrian Fuentes with a lovely play. And the referee says no free kick, so the play continues. I think it was a bit harsh there from the referee. You can clearly see a pull from one of the opponent's sides. But the referee says play on. Either way, you can see the confidence in that new striker for Mallorca, Adrian Fuentes. Now Villarreal in possession. The cross goes in, it's cleared by Real Mallorca, and a dangerous pass. Donny Lato managing to deal with the pressure there. But Mallorca almost giving away a huge chance for Valladolid. There it is there. I think it's quite unfair that Adrian Fuentes didn't get the free kick there. It was a lovely play from him. He just needs to keep up that type of show. And I'm sure soon his chance will come. Here's Darder. And losing it in a very, very dangerous position. But luckily for him, the referee awards the free kick. And I think Darder is one of the key figures in this Mallorca side, as he has made no secret of his ambition this season. He's been quiet in these first 18 minutes. I just think he needs to get a bit more involved. He's a very important player for Mallorca, and I definitely think they need him if they want to step up. And a throw in for Valladolid. Mallorca need to stay patient. Being the protagonist doesn't mean you have to dominate every single minute. And I definitely think that's the way I would put it. I definitely think that's the correct statement. As Mallorca are doing very well, they look very confident. But Valladolid are also starting to get the majority spell of the possession. Valladolid playing it back to their defensive sides. And looking for a through ball into Alejo, but in the end the offside flag goes up. So no danger whatsoever for Mallorca. It's very well defended by Donilato. You can see he was asking for the free kick. I'm not sure if it would have been awarded, but either way it's not going to matter. So 20 minutes into this matchup, and so far a very, very competitive match from both sides. And losing the ball there, Antonio Roca, but luckily it was a free kick for Mallorca. But with those type of chances there, I think this is where Mallorca's adaptability will be tested. And as we said, being a protagonist doesn't mean having everything your own way. And I think Mallorca will need to learn that, even though they are playing in the second division compared to last season. So now Pablo Torre fighting to get that ball back. Mallorca putting on the pressure. They did fight to get that ball back, but in the end, the referee awards the free kick to Valladolid. And the striker Latasa is back up on his feet, and he will be okay. You can see Antonio Rayo just clips him on the back of the head unintentionally, going up for that ball. But nothing much comes from that, and now the play continues for Valladolid as they enjoy the majority spell of the possession. Throw-in given away. And Valladolid taking the throw-in. Both sides are being careful with the possession. Here's Valladolid enjoying the spell of possession again. Playing the ball in Mallorca's half of the pitch. As the minutes go by, they're starting to look a lot more confident. And well defended there by Arnau Tenas. And I think Mallorca maybe in these first 23 minutes will start to ask questions now as to what do they do now. Valladolid starting to look a lot dangerous. And although they haven't had any actual shots on target yet, they're still controlling a high spell of possession. The pressure is building for Mallorca. Down the right-hand side, here's Alejo. Alejo playing it back. And the ball goes all the way back to the man between the sticks, Aceves. Aceves decides to play it long. Here's Darder into Tony Lato. Back to Antonio Raillo. Now good movement from the home side. Will they make the most of this spell of possession? So now a lovely through ball into Pablo Torre. Back to Lufumbo. Shot on target from him. Antonio Roca with the second chance. The rebound goes up. And it's cleared by Valladolid. And the first proper chance for Mallorca. What a save that was there for Aceves. And Mallorca need to keep on believing, as they had their first big chance there. It was Zito Luvumbo. An absolutely brilliant play there from Mallorca. Good pressure from the home side. Absolutely brilliant. We need to see more of that going forward. And another through ball. Here's Darder. Darder tries putting in the cross. And the deflection goes out for a corner kick. Mallorca get their second of the match. And again, let's take a look at the replay here for Mallorca. It was a lovely, lovely through ball there. Mikel Catalotayut, what a play that is from him. He brings it down, plays it short into Luvumbo, who gets the shot on target. And Aceves makes the brilliant save for Valladolid, keeping his team into this one. And I think the response is important now for Mallorca. What can they do from here? The cross goes into that second post. Aceves doesn't make a problem for Valladolid and takes the ball into his own hands. A big chance there for Mallorca. And Luvumbo went for the goal. He wasn't far away at all. And Mallorca are starting to cause real problems for this Valladolid defense. Now Valladolid with a lovely build-up play here. Alejo on the right-hand side on his own. Will they switch it out to him instead? An interesting choice of play there from Cabanzon, who decides to attempt a long shot. It was blocked by Mallorca. Now they're going to keep the spell of possession. And the league contains 42 matches for each club in the LaLiga Hypermotion. So this will only be the first of many. And Zito Luvumbo creating plenty of danger down that right-hand side. Again, managing to skip past his man with ease. So far, he's been a real problem in this first half for Valladolid. He's been absolutely brilliant. Now Mallorca putting on the pressure. Can Valladolid cope with it? And the chances are getting closer and closer. I think Mallorca have the advantage so far. And Valladolid might need to start to change their approach. Good ball there from Zito Luvumbo into Fuentes. Fuentes out wide into Pablo Torre. Here's Lato into Pablo Torre. Rayo out wide to Valgent. Here's Darder. Tony Lato back to Rayo, and Mallorca keep the spell of possession. So far, half an hour has been played, and this is where the game can begin to open up. We've seen the first big chance for Mallorca. I think soon we'll start to see the second. Here's Antonio Roca with a lovely little play there. He just couldn't keep his footwork together, but he needs to keep on going. Pablo Torre into Lato, back to Pablo Torre. What a play here from these two. And although they couldn't keep hold of it, it's still a brilliant play from Tony Lato and Pablo Torre. I think the initial nerves of opening night are starting to disappear for Mallorca. I still think Valladolid are missing a bit more on their side, especially offensively. But to be fair to them, defensively, they have managed to hold it down. So as the first half an hour has been played, the referee blows his whistle as the players decide to take a quick hydration break. So far, still goalless, but it's been an interesting opening half an hour. Neither team wants to make their first big mistake. But I think Mallorca are pushing a lot more to get there first. Whereas on the other hand, Valladolid are sitting back, more comfortable defending at the minute. There's the chance again for Zito Lovumbo. And what a chance it was. He did so well there, Mikel Cataratoyut, to make that run down the right hand side. The youngster right back who played for the Academy of Mallorca and has now made his way into the first team, and so far he's just having a brilliant first match. So now the managers have had their word with their players, and now the match is going to continue. The tactical battle continues, and I think this is one of those periods where patience is important. Sometimes you have to work through the quieter times when there's not much going on for your side. I think that's definitely the main case for Valladolid. And I think for Mallorca, they just need to keep on playing the way they are and the chances will start to come in. So now Aceves takes the goal kick for Valladolid. And the play continues. Zito Luvumbo chases the ball down as Valladolid kick the ball out of play and give away their spell of possession. And you can just see from that play alone how the first half has really gone for them so far. Now Mallorca looking for a way through. Zito Luvumbo on that right hand side into Miguel Calatayud. He makes the run, tries playing into Zito Luvumbo. It doesn't work out for them. Now Valladolid have the spell of possession and a free kick awarded. Pablo Torre just cuts out the play. It's an intelligent foul from him. And no booking received. Here's Alejo playing it back. And now Valladolid have a spell of possession. Garriel playing it forward into Chacon. And Mallorca get the ball back. Here's Pablo Torre trying to play it into Antonio Roca, but they don't quite understand each other there. Another mistake from Mallorca, but either way, this game is beginning to open up a lot more. Playing it down that left-hand side. And a poor pass from Valladolid, and they give away the throw-in to Mallorca. It's not the first time we've seen them do that in this first half. They need to be a lot more efficient if they want to create danger for Mallorca. And the throw-in the end is awarded to Valladolid for the Mallorca player didn't take the throw-in properly. It's not often you see that happen nowadays. So now Valladolid taking the throw-in. They decided to take it all the way back. Playing out to the right-hand side. Alejo. Alejo plays it back, and now it goes all the way to Aceves. And when Valladolid do get the spell of possession, they tend to play it back. Maybe try and keep the majority of the ball to make Mallorca a bit more nervous. Knowing that they're playing away at the Sunmarsh Stadium, where they have a bad record here. I just think they're being very cautious in this matchup. And a lovely play there from Antonio Roca to get the free kick for Mallorca. Taking it quickly. Here's Darder driving forward. Lovely bit of skill from Darder. And good skill, but not good passing from Darder as he gives the ball away. The pass was cut out by Manu Morlanes. Mikel Cartayut gets it back, but in the end, a handball is awarded, and he's going to pick up a yellow card. And the referees decided to book him. And I mean, how unfortunate is that? Calatayud picks up the yellow card for an obviously unintentional handball. And I think it's highly unfair for him to pick up a yellow card for that. But maybe, breaking the counter-attack in play, the referee feels like he doesn't have a choice. Now, Valladolid have the spell of possession. Aceves plays it long, looking for Latasa. Valladolid managed to bring the ball down. Bonsao playing it back. Out to the left-hand side. Here's Bonsao playing out wide into Alejo. Good movement here from Valladolid. Here's Alejo. Not rushing it forward. Instead, being a lot more tactical here, Valladolid. Passing the ball around slowly. And Mallorca trying to put on the pressure. In the end, it's a free kick for Valladolid. Here's Alejo. Alejo plays it back into Martinez, who switches it all the way out to the left-hand side. Trying to switch the ball, but there's too much height on his pass, and a throw-in has been given away to Mallorca. We're approaching the final 5 minutes of the first half. And so far, I think the match has slowed down quite a lot compared to the beginning. And although fitness shouldn't be a major issue this early in the season, but the concentration certainly is for both of these sides. Here's Lovumbo, who ends up losing it. And it's not often we see Zito Lovumbo giving away a ball like that. It can always be a danger giving away the ball in dangerous positions. And Don Ilato putting on the pressure. But in the end, a free kick again for Valladolid, and I think Mallorca are starting to get a bit frustrated, not being able to get the ball back and giving away various free kicks. Here's Alejo. Trying to play the through ball, and it's lovely play here from Valladolid, playing into Alejo, who gets the shot off. It was La Tasa, but in the end it's blocked. So it wouldn't have counted either way. Here's Antonio Roca, who gets taken down. Tony Lato keeps it in play, and the flag stays down, and the referee does not blow his whistle. The play continues for Mallorca. Here's Manu Morlanes driving forward. He decides to play it into Fuentes. Mallorca play the ball backwards and decide to slow the play down. Pablo Torre trying to play it through into Luvumbo. It's good vision from him. The ball goes out of play. And one moment of quality could change the entire half for either of these sides. And I think Mallorca need to start looking for that before the end of the first half. Donilato playing it short. And a free kick has been awarded for Mallorca in Valladolid's side of the pitch, but not very close to the goal net. Antonio Roca down on the ground. And you can see a clear free kick there from Alejo. The Mallorca players frustrated, asking for a yellow card. But the referee clearly tells the players that that's not happening. So 5 minutes until the halftime. Mallorca will want to finish this half strongly. So they need to try and chase one or two more chances before the halftime whistle. Pablo Torres steps up to put in the cross into that second post. And almost a huge chance there for Mallorca, as Manu Morlanes was reaching up to get his head on it. Here's Antonio Roca driving forward by the edge of the box. Antonio Roca, lovely little fake there. It falls to Pablo Torre. Here's Zito Luvumbo on the edge of the box. Trying to drive forward, but in the end he gets taken down. And the goal kick has been awarded to Valladolid. It's very good defending there from Alejo. He just loses his grip there, Zito Luvumbo. There's a bit of pulling from Alejo, but not sure if there's enough for a penalty. He does grab and pull his shirt. He needs to be careful there, Alejo. Heading the ball forward, it falls to Pablo Torre. And Valladolid keep the possession now. A lovely through ball. Potentially a chance for Valladolid before the end of the first. Switching out to that left-hand side. Here's Chacon. Chacon plays it short. What can they do from here? Valladolid attempting the shot and widely blocked by Mallorca. Villa trying to drive forward. Pablo Torre brings it down. Just a few minutes left before the halftime whistle. Mallorca need to drive forward now. Donilato back to Antonio Raillo. What can they do from here, Mallorca? With just 2 minutes left before the 45th minute. They need to finish this half off strongly. Here's Manu Morlanes into Antonio Roca. He's going to attempt the shots. And attempting the long shot, Antonio Roca. Very courageous from him. He had Pablo Torre on his left-hand side. You can see is clearly not happy with him for not passing the ball. And he just needs to get those shots on target. Valladolid take the goal kick quickly. Maybe looking to get one more chance before the end of the first. Here's Pablo Torre into Antonio Roca. Antonio Roca out wide into Luvumbo. Here's Zito Luvumbo through the legs. Lovely little play. Tries putting in the cross. And in the end, the deflection goes out for a goal kick. And he does well, Luvumbo, but he gets surrounded by those away opponents in that penalty area box. There's not much he can do with that many players around him. So now Valladolid take the goal kick quickly. We're about to hit the 45th minute, and we'll see if there's any minutes added on of extra time. One final attack before the interval could be crucial. So Valladolid have the spell of possession, and there's going to be 2 minutes added on of extra time. Driving forward, Zito Luvumbo putting on a bit of pressure, trying to get that ball back for Mallorca. And good movement from Valladolid. Here's Alejo playing the through ball. It's intercepted by Tony Lato. And the free kick is given away to Valladolid, and it's a very dangerous one. Given away from Sergi Derder. This could potentially be the last chance for either of these sides before the end of the first half. It's a very dangerous free kick given away from Sergi Derder. And you can see clearly steps on him there. Victor Jr. is back up on his feet. And luckily he will be okay. And it could potentially be the biggest test for Arneu Tenas in these last few minutes of the match. And what a chance this would be here for Valladolid to take the lead in the last attack play of the first half. It would be absolutely huge for them and devastating for Mallorca. So stepping up to take it. Looks like it's going to be Cabanzon. And Cabanzon stepping up to take it. And it hits right into that Mallorca wall. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of time left to even take the goal kick. And as a matter of fact, there isn't. And there is the halftime whistle. 45 minutes complete here at the Sanma Stadium. And wait a minute. What's going on here? Just looks like the referee was about to take a look at a potential VAR, but now he has actually blown for the halftime whistle. 45 minutes complete here at the Sanma Stadium. There's been plenty to like, also plenty to work on, and importantly, there's another 45 minutes to come. It's all square at the break, and I think Mallorca have shown positive moments, but they'll know there still are opportunities to exploit. Mallorca definitely still have work to do. But importantly, this match is far from over for both of these sides. 45 minutes is done. Real Mallorca 0, Real Valladolid 0. And I think one of the big questions will be whether Mallorca continue to build patiently or become more direct. I think Mallorca and Valladolid, first half was good from Mallorca. It was also good from Valladolid. It's been a very equal match. When it comes to chances, Mallorca have had the most clear chances, but also Valladolid managed to pick up quite a lot of the possession within those last 20 minutes. I think Valladolid have to keep an eye on Luvumbo. He's looking very, very dangerous in that first half. His pace could become increasingly important as the game opens up. And Sergi Dordera, for me, he's just been very quiet. He's not been good enough. He really needs to step up as he is the key figure in this Mallorca squad. Mallorca needs his experience. And he needs a player like him to take responsibility. And I think from set pieces, Mallorca have players capable of producing something special. But again, they just need that bit more. They need to continue pushing and go forward. And then we'll see what it has to offer in the second half. We're going to go on a quick break. We'll be back very shortly. Do not go anywhere. And we will see you for another intense 45 minutes. And back underway, where Mallorca have another 45 minutes to get the result they're looking for. The referee blows for the start of the second half, and here we go. Right away, Valladolid kick the ball up in Mallorca's side of the pitch, looking for an easy chance in the early stages of the second half. And whatever was said in that dressing room for Mallorca, now it's the time to put it into action. I think it's been a decent first half for both of these sides, but I think Mallorca have had the slight edge. When it comes to attacking play, they've had the bigger chances. But again, with no goals from either side, this second half is where all of the interest has to go. And right away, a dangerous potential free kick for Valladolid as Tony Lato commits the handball. So already in the first minute of the second half, Valladolid potentially have a dangerous chance. An interesting start to the second half. So Valladolid attempting the set-piece play as it doesn't work out for them. Zito Luvumbo gets the block, and it's actually gone out for a throw-in. And I think Mallorca in the second half will be looking to increase the tempo. It needs to be quicker from them. It needs to be, well, they need to dominate more than they are dominating already. It just needs to be slightly better. And there's another free kick awarded for Valladolid again, as Chacon gets taken down by Miguel Calatayud. There's the chance there again. Puts his through his legs. It's a lovely play from Chacon. But again, it's not about the nutmegs or the skills. It's about who can score the goals and win the match. And already we have a number of players warming up for Mallorca. And we'll see if they are going to make any changes in this second half. The cross goes in and it's cleared by Mallorca. Zito Luvumbo kicks it up. Not taking any chances, and the ball goes all the way back to the man between the sticks, Acevez. Acevez plays it long, and what a pass that is there from him into Chacon. And so far, Valladolid have had a very dangerous start to the second half. They've come out with real intent. Mallorca need to make sure they don't concede the first goal here, as conceding the first will be heavy for Mallorca, especially playing at their home ground. Here come Valladolid again down this left-hand side, causing a lot of trouble. Very well defended there from Martin Valgens. Kicking the ball up and giving it back to Valladolid again. Holding it in Mallorca's half of the pitch. It's Valladolid. Trying to drive forward, and a foul committed from Adrian Fuentes. Valladolid take it quickly. Here's Martinez. Martinez through the middle into Ponceau. Ponceau back to Martinez. Here's Alejo. And so far, a very intense start from Valladolid in the second half. They really have come out with real intent, and they're holding the big majority spell of possession. Switching out to this left-hand side. What can they do from here? Valladolid trying to put in the low cross. It's cleared by Tony Lato. And Zito Luvumbo fighting to get the ball back, and he does so for Mallorca. Here's Manu Morlanes, almost losing it there in a dangerous position. Adrian Fuentes losing it in the midfield, and Mallorca keep on making these mistakes. They really can't afford to be making them. Taking and playing the ball forward quickly. It's Adrian Tenas. Here's Pablo Torre. And Mallorca now finally have a bit of the spell of possession. And they'll maybe want to slow it down a bit and make Valladolid a bit more uncomfortable. Here's Luvumbo. Into Lato. What can they do from here, Mallorca? Darder. Martin Valgent. And Mallorca holding the ball in Valladolid's half of the pitch. Manu Morlanes into Miguel Calatayud. "50 minutes in here now. And so far, Mallorca starting to look a bit better in the second half. They want to keep the majority spell of possession and keep that ball all to themselves. Now Pablo Torre. Mallorca decide to play out wide into the left-hand side. Slowly building a way forward. They're being very patient here. Here's Antonio Roca. He does well to keep hold of it. Manu Morlanes back to... And Mallorca holding it well. Manu Morlanes again. Out wide to Valgent. Miguel Calatayud. So far, a good spell of possession from Mallorca. Playing the long ball. What can they do from here? Close to getting it. It was Antonio Roca. But Aceves got there first. So now Valladolid finally get the ball back. Playing out forward again down this left-hand side where they seem to be creating all their danger. And Manu Morlanes with a very good tackle. But in the end, the referee blows his whistle and awards the free kick. As Victor Jr. gets taken down. But for me, there wasn't enough on that for them to award the free kick. So now Valladolid take the free kick quickly. And the match is in play again. Here's Garriel trying to play it forward. Zito Luvumbo intercepts the pass. And a throw-in for Valladolid. And giving the ball away poorly was Valladolid. So now Mallorca are back in possession, and a poor pass there from Tenas. Here come Valladolid. They could have a chance. And Tenas comes out and catches the ball, almost letting it slip. A dangerous chance there. Here come Mallorca breaking all the counter-attacking play. Zito Luvumbo down the right-hand side. What can he do from here? Zito Luvumbo. And a poor play there from Zito Luvumbo as he struggles to keep hold of it. And gives away the goal kick for Valladolid. It's definitely been an interesting start to the second half. I would say morally so for Valladolid. I think Mallorca have had a really poor start to the second half. They've looked a lot shaky. The intensity that was there earlier isn't really there in the second half. And I think Mallorca really need to make sure they don't concede the first goal. Here comes Zito Luvumbo again, breaking forward. Manu Morlanes in the midfield. Darder out wide into Miguel Calatayud. Manu Morlanes again, and he does very well to turn around. He plays into Darder. Zito Luvumbo on the right-hand side. He tries putting it across into that second post where it's cleared by Valladolid. Mallorca pick it up again. Darder out wide to Luvumbo. Mikel Calatayud into Darder. Lovely ball. Darder puts in the cross. And it goes right into the hands of Acebez. Good build-up play from Mallorca, but the cross there from Darder just needs to be that bit better. Now Valladolid breaking forward on the counter-attack. And the pass was too strong from Valladolid, and it goes into the hands of Tenas. 55 minutes in here now, almost an hour played in total. I think very soon it will often be the point where managers start to think about changes for both sides. Pablo Torre into Rayo. Rayo with the long ball looking for Luvumbo. Is he onside? Will the flag stay down? Here's Luvumbo. He cuts in. And he just can't keep hold of that ball. Mikel Calatayud with the rebound. And it's out of play. What a chance that was there for Zito Luvumbo. The offside flag stayed down. It was a huge chance to take the lead. And he just needs to keep his feet a bit more calm in those type of situations. Here he is again, Luvumbo. Manages to turn around. And Zito Luvumbo claims for the corner kick. But in the end, a goal kick awarded. And I think in the first half, Zito Luvumbo, he was absolutely brilliant with the danger he was creating. And then in this second half, he is creating almost the same type of danger, but either way, his chances never seem to work out. It's always going out for a goal kick or he loses his grip. I just think Mallorca and some of these players have lost the intensity going into the second half. Now, a chance for Valladolid after they have the spell of possession. Here's Ojeda. Valladolid in possession. And a through ball, and what chance this is here now for Valladolid. And it was very, very dangerous for Mallorca, but they managed to get away with it in the end. Here's Adrián Fuentes. Playing it forward into Mikel Calatayud. Mallorca driving forward. Mikel cutting in. Here's Adrián Fuentes. Adrián Fuentes gets taken down. The referee says nothing. The play continues for Mallorca. And Valladolid managed to clear it. Another huge chance for Mallorca that they just couldn't make the most of. What a counter-attack that was there. And Adrián Fuentes just claimed it was a free kick, but in the end it didn't get awarded for him. We'd have to take a look at the replay just to see it again. It was going by so quickly. But you can see what he thought about that one. It was a brilliant counter-attack play there from Mikel Calatayud. And I think he's been an absolute star so far. He's been absolutely brilliant. And he needs to keep up the good work. 59 minutes in here now, and fresh legs could become very important. You'd start to think that one of these managers will make substitutions very soon. Now Valladolid have the spell of possession. And in this second half, the match seems to be going both ways so far. Both teams have had big chances. Valladolid switching the ball out to that left-hand side, and in the end, too much power on that pass, and a throw-in for Mallorca. Not sure if the supporters will be happy with what they're seeing so far. It's not been a terrible performance, but I definitely think they would have expected a bit more from their side. And as the game advances, it's definitely beginning to open up a lot more. Anything can happen in these last 30 minutes. Here's Adrian Fuentes for Mallorca. He does very well to drive forward. Adrian, and he gets taken down. And the free kick is awarded. A very dangerous chance now for Mallorca. And he did very well there, Adrian Fuentes. I just thought the referee wasn't going to award the free kick because he had already sort of lost the ball. But in the end, he does very, very well. And Martinez receives the yellow card. What a chance this might be here now for Mallorca. They need to keep on believing. There's a look at the chance there. It's a very, very poor foul there from Martinez. Very aggressive. And he clearly takes him down. I think the referee made the right decision there, especially with the booking. And stepping up to take it is going to be Pablo Torre. The question is, can they put this into back of the net? 61 minutes in here now. A dangerous free kick for Mallorca. And it is quite some distance out, but I think he's going to take the shot. Pablo Torre taking the shots. And it goes into the back of the net. Pablo Torre has taken the lead for Mallorca. What a shot. What a strike from the number 20. Mallorca have found it. Son Mosh is absolutely rocking with that first goal. What a time to score for Pablo Torre. From the free kick. Absolutely brilliant. I'll tell you what a strike from him with his right foot. He's not exactly close, is he? Just strikes it from far out. Curls it into that top right corner. Absolutely brilliant. Look at the curve on that. The home side have found the breakthrough when it matters the most. A huge moment for that player. Remember the name, Pablo Torre. And that could be a huge goal in the opening match of the season. 63 minutes in here now when Mallorca needed the goal the most. Pablo Torres come out and he's got it for them. And now Valladolid trail 1-0 here at the San Mas Stadium. And Mallorca get their first goal of the season. And it's from that young man right there, Pablo Torre, the number 20. And I'll tell you what, it's not exactly close, is it? The free kick isn't taken from close. He's got quite some yards on him to strike that. And he still just manages to go for goal. It's an absolutely brilliant strike. You have to have some confidence to take that one, I'll tell you that. Now, Valladolid start off their kickoff with quite some intensity, knowing that they're trailing behind at the San Mas Stadium. And by the looks of it, when the ball goes out of play, there's going to be 3 substitutions to be made for Mallorca. Wow, I wouldn't have expected them to make 3 substitutions all at once. Good tackle there from Antonio Reillo. And a corner awarded for Valladolid. Absolutely brilliant tackle. And although Antonio Reillo didn't have the brightest of seasons last year, He's definitely going out with high expectations this season. So now Valladolid to take the corner. Here's Cabanzon putting in the cross. And the shot was actually going on target. I'm not sure if he was intentionally trying to put it in the back of the net just to catch Tenas off guard, but it's a brilliant shot from him. And now Valladolid have another corner. Cabanzon to take the cross, putting it into that first post. And look at this here. Adrian Fuentes gets the ball and just drives forward. And in the end, he just slips up as he tried to connect the pass out wide. But what a break that was there from him. He just gets the ball from the corner and just takes up. And look at the pace on him. Now Valladolid switching it out to that right-hand side. A lovely few passes connected. And Alejo gets taken down and he asks for the free kick. The referee says no, so the play continues. The crowd is getting louder here at the Sanma Stadium. And Mallorca have the momentum. They're looking very good at the minute. And I just think that goal was so important for Mallorca. They really give them the lifeline that they needed. I just think they need to chase for more and hold on to that lead. Mallorca are really turning the screw now. And Valladolid are struggling to get out. I think Mallorca will want to hold the majority of the possession now that they've taken the lead. Trying to play the long ball into Catalayud, but it doesn't work out for them, Mallorca. Now 3 substitutions to be made. Coming off is Miquel Calatayud. Replacing him is going to be Mateu Jaume. That is the first substitution. The second one is Antonio Roca coming off. And replacing him is going to be Liso. And then the third and final substitution to be made is Pablo Torre, the goal scorer, comes off. And replacing him is going to be Alex Sala. So 3 substitutions made there for Mallorca. 1 defensive and 2 offensive. 2 of the new arrivals for Mallorca step onto the pitch here to make their Sonmosh debut season in the LaLiga Hypermotion. And what a moment it would be for them to step in and to get the second goal for Mallorca. Just 20 minutes until the final stages. And Sonmosh knows how important these next few minutes might be for them. Now a throw-in for Mallorca. Taking the throw-in here, Mallorca. Lovely little play. What can Mallorca do from this? Putting in the low cross, trying to find Lovumbo. It falls to Alex Sala. And it's cleared by Valladolid, but Mallorca might have another chance here. And Valladolid try breaking forward, but Mallorca putting on the pressure and getting that ball back. Now Mateu Jaume in possession and slowing down the play. And I think in these type of moments, this is where Mallorca really do need leadership. Here's Liso. Into Darder. Mallorca playing it back. 70 minutes played. The legs are slowly getting heavier. And this is where the substitutions, I think, will start to make a huge difference. Now Mallorca patiently holding on to that possession. The pressure is building for both of these sides, especially for Valladolid, who are down by 1 goal at the San Marcos Stadium. The question is, can both of these teams keep up the intensity? Now here's Alex Sala. Lovely play from him to play from at the back. Driving forward is Liso. He's got plenty of options. He plays out to Alex Sala. Tries putting in the low cross. And it's deflected out for a corner. And a lovely little break there from Mallorca. A dangerous moment against Valladolid. And so far, this second half, the supporters will be loving it. I think so far, the manager for Mallorca will be very happy with what he's seeing, Luis Garcia. And the corner goes into the back of the net from Antonio Raillo. Mallorca get their second of the match. And out of nowhere, Mallorca have made it 2. The San Marcos fans dance and sing as Mallorca get their second. That 1 goal gap has just gone up to 2. And it's Antonio Raillo who scored his first goal of the season. That could be a huge goal for this opening match. And he's just made Mallorca's life a whole lot easier with that 2-goal gap now. It's a lovely cross and a lovely finish from Antonio Raillo. I just think the defense from Valladolid there is lacking a lot. They're not putting a lot of pressure on Antonio Raillo. He just has to get his head on it because it's a brilliant cross from Alex Sala. Antonio Raillo, he doesn't have to go up in the air. Just puts his head on it and it goes into that bottom right corner. It's a brilliant goal, and it's a brilliant set-piece play from Mallorca. So, 72 minutes in here now. Real Mallorca 2 and Valladolid 0. And Alex Sala gets his first assist of the season from that corner. It's a brilliant cross from him from the substitution who just came on. And you can clearly see the impact the substitutions have had ever since they've come on. We saw the little break earlier from Alex Sala. And it was actually him who got the corner. And then it was him who crossed the corner for the goal. And that's just the type of impact that these substitutions can make. Absolutely brilliant from Alex Sala. One fresh player, one run in behind, one moment of quality, and that's all it takes. Now breaking forward is Zito Luvumbo on the right-hand side. And how many times have we seen that today? And Zito Luvumbo goes up for the header. Valladolid managed to clear it. It's gone out of play. And now there's going to be a quick hydration break for both of these sides. What a second half it's been for Mallorca with these 2 goals. And I think, realistically, it's been devastating for Valladolid. I think they're going to be really disappointed in their performance. In the first half, I think both teams played all right, but then going into the second half, I will say Valladolid, they did start off very well. And then that goal from Pablo Torre just absolutely gave Mallorca the biggest lifeline. It's a brilliant free kick. Absolutely stunning. And then I think ever since that goal, Mallorca have looked like the better side by far. I just think Valladolid let themselves down by conceding one goal, and Mallorca decided to make the most of it. The substitutions came on. They also made a huge difference with a pair of fresh legs, and I think they also made a real impact. And I will say, Valladolid, when it comes to the substitutions, they've actually not made any, which I think is quite strange. 75 minutes in here now, and they've not made a single substitution. You've got to question the coach here. Is he making the right decisions? The players are going to be tired. You need fresh legs. It's about 28 degrees Celsius, even though it's nighttime out here in Palma de Mallorca. It's a very, very warm night. You need to bring on substitutions. And I think it's let him down for not bringing on fresh legs. So now 76 minutes left to go. And that is what's remaining in normal time. And now we are really into the business end of the match. Every Mallorca player is going to have to give everything. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen Mallorca give away a 2-0 lead. Of course, the first division of La Liga is very different to the second one. There's no doubt about it. And this Mallorca team is very different to last year's Mallorca team. You've got to take all those factors into account. But the truth is, we have seen Mallorca give away 2-0 leads. It happened more than once last season. They really do need to stay concentrated. Now Valladolid enjoying a bit of the spell of possession. Good movement now from the away side. Taking it down that left-hand side. Trying to switch it to the right. But Mallorca managed to clear the ball. And now here come Mallorca down the left-hand side, looking for a way through. And in the end, Liso managed to find himself out of bounds. A throw-in for Valladolid. And Valladolid take it quickly. And I just think in the second half, they've really let themselves down, Valladolid. And even though they have conceded 2, I think they should push more a bit forward. They have nothing to lose. They could still get back into this if they score one soon. So, what's to say that they shouldn't chase for that first goal? But I just think they're lacking a lot of intensity. I think they're disappointed. The heads are down, and they don't have the right mentality to try and bring this back. And with all the new names in this Mallorca squad, I think I've been very impressed from what I've seen from all of them. But for me, Adrian Liso is one of the only players that I say has been very quiet ever since he's come on. We've not really seen much of him. But it is only the first match. There's still 41 league matches to go after this one. So again, we'll see throughout the season what he has to offer. And losing the ball there, Adrian Liso. Here come Valladolid down the right-hand side. Cutting in and trying to put in the cross. And a brilliant tackle from Donny Lato. Now Valladolid still enjoying the spell of possession. Still trying to chase to maybe get one back. Here's Zito Luvumbo who loses it. In a really poor position there. He needs to be more aware of his surroundings, losing it in the midfield position. And although Mallorca are up by 2 goals, they really shouldn't get too comfortable. As at any moment, Valladolid can get one back. And once they get 1 goal, all of a sudden they're only 1 goal away from equalizing. And it can get very, very intense. So Mallorca can't get too comfortable. They need to stay on top of this one. So now there's going to be another substitution made for Real Mallorca. Coming on is going to be Antonio Sanchez. And coming off is Zito Luvumbo. I think he really has had a good match out there today. Especially in that first half, he was creating a lot of danger. But I have to say, in the second half, I think Zito Luvumbo lacked a lot of intensity. I think he was a bit poor in the second half. It should have been a lot better from him. But again, as long as he played well in the first, he created still plenty of chances. Yes, he did lack in the second half. But either way, I still think he had a good match out there today. So, very positive notes from him. "82 minutes in here now, 8 minutes left to play of regular time. And Valladolid yet to get their first goal of the match. Here's Martin Valgens into Antonio Sanchez. Antonio Sanchez back to Andreu Tenas. Here's Arnau Tenas. Darder into Valgens. Mallorca holding the ball in their own half of the pitch and not rushing forward. And I'm sure they don't need to take any type of unnecessary risks to rush forward. Winning 2-0 at home. I think Mallorca are more than comfortable with this lead. All they have to do now is just hold the ball, not give it away any silly mistakes, and slowly build their way up. What can they do from here? Mallorca on the left-hand side, trying to play it through to Donny Lato. He manages to pick it up. Donny Lato back to Rayo. Manu Morlanes. Antonio Sanchez driving forward. He plays into Alex Sala, trying to play out wide to Liso, but the pass falls short. Mallorca managed to get that ball back, and all the way back to Arnau Tenas. And again, I think it's so strange that Valladolid have only made 2 substitutions in the whole match. And they made them in the 73rd minute, after they were already 2-0 down. But also, you do have to know, in case you didn't know this, that Valladolid have had some trouble registering certain players that they had bought on time for the start of the LaLiga Hypermotion. They've made certain transfers that should be in the lineup today, but due to the rules, they couldn't get them ready on time to show up for this matchup, and I'm guessing that's a reason why there wasn't enough substitutions made earlier for Valladolid. But speaking of substitutions, they're going to make 2 more now. So 2 substitutions to be made for Valladolid. Coming off was Cambanzon and Ponceao. So those two players come off for Valladolid, and the play continues as we're into the final 5 minutes. The atmosphere has been incredible today in the Sanma Stadium. Of course, it's not as packed as it usually would be like last season, but again, it still is busy. It's an attendance of 15,900 fans in that Sanma Stadium today. And the atmosphere has been good enough. It's been incredible. And safe to say that there's very little time left now for Valladolid to try and bring it back. The defense today for Real Mallorca, I think it has been good. So far a clean sheet, and Arnau Tenas hasn't really had any proper tests. We've not really seen Valladolid have any big chances. As a matter of fact, Valladolid so far have had 10 shots, but 0 of them have been on target. You know, that kind of sums it up to the type of offensive display they've had out there today. It's been really, really poor offensive work today from Valladolid. The first half, they showed a decent, fair amount of intensity, but in this second half, it's just not been good enough. So far, 10 shots for Valladolid, 0 on target. Can they make a difference? Can they change that soon? Here's Arnau Tenas. Arnau Tenas into Mateo Jaume. Here's Antonio Sanchez. And a free kick awarded to Mallorca. And very good work there from Martin Valgent. And you can see the disappointment on the away fans here in the Sanma Stadium. No happy looks whatsoever in that stand. And I'm not really surprised, am I? And Mallorca have actually had 6 shots, with 3 of them being on target. Although Valladolid have had more shots, they've not managed to get any on target, whereas Mallorca have managed to get 3 on target, with 2 of them being goals. And a free kick awarded now to Valladolid. 88 minutes in here now. There's not long left to go before the end of the regular time. I can't imagine there'll be too much added time within these last few minutes. And until then, there's going to be a substitution made. Manu Morlanes coming off for Mallorca. So for this Mallorca side, Arnau Puigmal comes onto the pitch, replacing Manu Morlanes, another new signing for Mallorca. And unfortunately for him, he doesn't have too long to make a very good first impression, as he's come on the 89th minute. Now, can Mallorca hold on? Just a few more minutes without conceding a goal. 2-0 up at the Sanma Stadium. And those 3 points for them tonight are absolutely huge. So now poorly given away by Valladolid, and Mallorca can break forward. Here's Alex Sala. He's going to attempt the long shot, and it's bounced off of the crossbar. The rebound falls for Mallorca, and they make it their third. Liso has slotted it into the back of the net. Mallorca make it 3 goals. The long shot from Alex Sala bounces up for that top left crossbar, and the rebound falls perfectly for Liso, who all he has to do is tap it in. 3-0 up. What's a huge mistake there from those Valladolid defenders. I will say, what a shot that is here from Alex Sala. Look at the range. It bounces off of that crossbar. And Liso just happens to be at the right place at the right time. What an absolute shot that is there. He's so unfortunate that doesn't go into the back of the net. And then Adrian Liso is there for the rebound. 3-0 at the Sonmos Stadium. What a match we've had out here today from Mallorca. Absolutely amazing. The home side have found their breakthrough. And for Valladolid, an absolute nightmare. The fourth official has indicated the amount of added time, which is 5 minutes added on. So whatever happens now, we are into the final moments. And by the looks of it, the goal has gone to VAR. And I think the goal has been disallowed for Mallorca. Not quite sure if the referees disallowed the goal. Unfortunately for Adrian Liso, the goal has been disallowed by the looks of it. So that third goal for Mallorca is not going to count. Unfortunately for them. Unfortunately for Adrian Liso, it was his perfect debut goal, but in the end, it will not count. I don't think it really matters much as Mallorca are already winning 2-0. But either way, what a shame for him. So now 92 minutes in, 3 minutes left to go of extra time. Here's Adrian Liso into Sergi Darder. Mallorca driving forward, and as you can imagine, they decide to slow the play down. Can Mallorca see this one out? Can they end this matchup with a clean sheet? Just moments remain before the full-time whistle. And what a match for Mallorca in this first debut match of the LaLiga Hypermotion this season. The first one out of many. And it's been absolutely brilliant from Mallorca. I think it's been almost a 10 out of 10 display. And I think Luis Garcia is going to be more than happy with this matchup. I think some of those new players and some of the old players have shown a lot of confidence out there today. And as a team, Mallorca have proved that they do connect very well this season. So now, 1 minute left to go. There could be a final opportunity now for Valladolid. And look at Adrian Fuentes still running around like he did in the first minute. And in the 90th, he is still going. I've got to say, I think he's had a brilliant match out there today, Adrian Fuentes. Now a throw-in for Valladolid. And this could potentially be the final chance for them. And lovely play there from Adrian Fuentes, and he's unfortunate to not get away with it. Here's a look at the goal from earlier, the disallowed goal from Adrian Liso, and he's very unfortunate for it to be disallowed, but you can see his shoulder is just about offside. And Valladolid take the throw in. We're now in the 95th. And there is the final whistle. Mallorca have done it. What a way to begin the season. 3 points on the opening night at Son Moix. The first step of Mallorca's journey back towards La Liga has been taken. 42 matches are ahead, but tonight Mallorca have made their first 3 points on the board. Spectacular performance from the home side and a fantastic evening for Luis Garcia. His players and the supporters have been absolutely brilliant out there today. And the man of the match, as you can imagine, is going to go for Pablo Torre. What a match he's out there today. An absolutely spectacular goal from his free kick. And there's a bit of a brawl now going on the pitch between those Valladolid players and the Mallorca players. But we're not going to worry too much about that. We're not going to let it distract us from the fact that Mallorca put in a shift out there today. And an absolute brilliant performance. But again, this is only the beginning. There's still 41 matches ahead. And Luis Garcia will know exactly what his team needs in the next few matches. Out there today, it's been absolutely brilliant. But the important thing now is how they play in the next one. Because he's just been absolutely brilliant, the squad out there today. And again, I think some of those players, some of the new ones and some of the old ones, have had a brilliant performance. Of course, how can we not talk about that spectacular goal from Pablo Torre? It was absolutely brilliant, that free kick. And I would just love to know how many yards out it was he struck it from. Because again, what a goal for Pablo Torre. And I'm just trying to see now how many yards out he was when he struck it. Because again, it's a very impressive free kick. Very, very impressive. I can't quite find how many yards out he was when he took the free kick. But either way, a spectacular goal from him and a spectacular performance from Real Mallorca out there today. A brilliant way to begin the campaign. The 3 points on an opening night in front of the home supporters. The journey back to La Liga has begun, and Mallorca have taken their first step. Luis Garcia will be absolutely thrilled with his players. Possession-wise, Valladolid did hold their own. They got 52% possession, and Real Mallorca got 48%. But I think on the offensive, that's where Valladolid got let down. They managed to get 12 shots, with only one of them being on target, and that, I believe, was the corner. Then for Mallorca, they managed to get 7 shots, with 3 of them being on target, and 2 of them being goals. Valladolid, they did get a lot of shots on, but I just think they weren't creating much offensively. They were just shooting from anywhere they could. They didn't have much going on for them. It really wasn't a good performance from them. First half was good, but then going into the second half, I think they let themselves down a lot. For Mallorca, on the other hand, I think we're seeing a brilliant project, and I think we've seen out there today. We did see a bit of it in the preseason, but again, within the preseason, that's not important. What's important is out here in the league where the points actually matter. The preseason was good, and now we're seeing results in the LaLiga Hypermotion division. And again, really important 3 points. I think everyone was very good out there today for Mallorca, and I think the substitutions were also very, very good and very important. As a team, Mallorca looked brilliant. Everyone looked brilliant out there today for Mallorca. And yeah, I think Luis Garcia will be more than happy with that decision. That is going to be the end for this live stream from me here. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's matchup here at the Sunmoss Stadium. It's been a very exciting one. It's been a very, very good performance from Mallorca, and I think most Mallorca fans and players should be really happy with the performance out there today. I've been your host, Daniel Armstrong, and thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's YouTube Play Red channel. Have a good night, everyone.